So mediation agreements and how to make them legally binding. So you've been through a mediation process, you've got to an agreement, which is fantastic news. And now you want to have that agreement made legally binding. Can you do that? Well, the answer really does depend on what you're mediating over and whether you're married or not. So let's have a look at some of the options there. The first one is parenting arrangements. Now, you can have parenting arrangements made legally binding. It would be through something called a child arrangement order. And the outcome from your mediation for parenting would normally be a parenting plan. So you could take that parenting plan, you could have it made legally binding through a child arrangement order, but there's a few hurdles you need to jump over because the courts know that the arrangements you have now, for example, for a 4-year-old, are going to change when your child reaches 6 or 7, change again when they're 9 or 10, change again when they reach teenage years. They know that family life change. They know that routines change, that new children come into relationship, that new partners do. So life moves on. And that makes it very difficult to make an order at that time that will last a significant length of time. So they will only make that order if you can show the court that it is in the child's best interest to have a legally binding order. How do you do that? Well, you have to go to court, you'd have a day, the judge would speak to you. If you're there by agreement to get an agreed consent order, it wouldn't be a sort of a scary session. It could just be yourself and the judge sat around a table, but they would also normally need CAFCAS involvement to check that the agreement that you've reached, they can make legally binding, because by doing that, the court is then giving themselves the jurisdiction over your child. They're going to make it legally binding. They need to make sure that they agree with it as well. So for parenting arrangements, yes, you can, but you really need to have a good reason for the child why you want to have that made legally binding. You will have to go to court and you might well have to do a CAFCAS review as well. Okay, so that's parenting. When it comes to finances, it kind of depends really if you're doing it as part of a divorce. So if you're married, you're getting divorced, you would have something called a financial consent order. You should definitely get one of those because that's going to protect you both financially moving forwards. And if you get a clean break consent order, it means that neither of you can make a claim against the other in 5, 10, 15, even 20 years time. So yes, you should have that made legally binding as part of your divorce. And if you're doing anything like pension sharing, you're going to have to get one of those anyway. Do speak to us at Mediate UK if that's what you're looking to do, because you can do the mediation and get your consent order drafted by a solicitor as part of a fixed fee package. So we might even be able to save you a bit of money on that one as well. And then finally, if you're not divorcing, so if you're not married, you're in a cohabiting relationship, or if you just don't want to get divorced yet, you might do it at some point in the future, you can get something drafted called a separation agreement. So this will change depending on whether you are married or not, but a solicitor normally would draft the separation agreement, and that will lay out and invite the court to accept your agreement when you do eventually get divorced. Or if it's a deed of separation because you're not married, you can take it to a civil court and have it enforced as a deed, just like any other written agreement you have, if you sign up for your mobile phone. So those are a very short overview of parenting legal agreements and financial legal agreements, depending on whether you're married or not. I hope that makes sense. But look, it's a confusing area of law. So do give us a call at Mediate UK. If we can help you on that, we'd love to. You can get a free 15-minute consultation through our website, mediateuk.co.uk. And if you've mediated an agreement between us, we have a really good setup with our solicitors. We hope to be able to save you some money, but also we know they're really good to help you. So you can get everything made legally binding through us if you wish to. Best of luck with getting to that agreement.